Hi, welcome to another awesome Cyclism video. In this episode we will be showing you some stretches and more amusingly showing you the difference between a former professional dancer and very inflexible cyclist, me.
So as Alex said, we're going to go through some stretches today. We're just going to take you through 3 stretches which will be really helpful for you if you are either about to go out and you're using it for a warm-up, or if you've come back from training and you need to stretch, or just to do every day really to help with your flexibility, help with strength, and also just help keeping you going on the bike and with training. So first stretch that we're going to do is really simple, and you probably already do it, but it's just a few things to think about when you're doing it, especially if you've been on the bike for a really long ride. Your back tends to get quite sore. So just standing like hip width apart, so you're looking at having your toes and your knees in line with your hips, and all you're going to do is roll down to touch the floor. But whereas you would probably just drop down to try and do it, what you're going to think about doing is going right from the head all the way through the body. So you go through all of the vertebrae and you're just trying to loosen them up. So you start by dropping your chin down onto your chest, and then as you roll down you're going to think about trying to stretch everything out all the way down. So you go down really slowly, find the bottom, and then you can just kind of hang here for a second. Now if, like Alex, you can't touch the floor, something you can do is just bend the knees gently. So if you just bend the knees, maybe not quite to that point, it can just give you a little bit more room to manoeuvre and maybe get the tips of your hands on the floor. And then from there you can just start to gently try and straighten the legs. Now it might not happen in one day, but over periods of time, if you can just do this gently every day, come down, let the head hang loose and just let the body rest. Not only are you going to stretch all the back of the legs, which is really good if you've been on the bike, it's going to help loosen up the back as well. So it's just one stretch that you can do every day. You'll gradually develop the flexibility there, and it might change the position on your bike as you are starting to lengthen out your hamstrings and also your back. So second exercise that we can do is concentrating on our IT bands that can get really tight being on the bike, especially with our hip flexors, because you're in one position and it's just going the whole time. So it's really important to stretch out your IT bands, as that also has quite a big impact on your back. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this depending on your flexibility. It's 3 different ways actually. First one, find a wall, stand on one leg, heel over your knee, and you can just come and literally sit down. Not in really tight trousers, and then just let your body come forward, and you should feel a stretch down the side, which is your IT band. Feeling that?
I'm feeling something.
So you just let the weight of the body come forward, and you should feel an even greater stretch. If you start to get really good with balance, you can actually put your hands into prayer position and come forward that way, as any yoga pose. So that's also really good for balance work. So the other one that you can do is come down on the floor, one leg underneath, one leg on top, and all you're going to do, that's it, nearly there, but that's not too, not everyone's going to be able to do this, so you might find that you're not quite there yet, so you can just then let your body weight come forward, and again you should feel another stretch, and just try and let your body relax, which I know is quite hard when it's a bit uncomfortable. Yeah? Feeling that one? Yeah. Good. Last way you can do it, and I imagine that this is the way that most people know, is lying on your back, bringing one leg up, taking the foot over the knee and pulling it towards you. So that's the other one that you can do. So third stretch that we're going to do, grab your lovely pillow. Yeah. We're going to do a hip flexor stretch. This is a really important one to do if you are spending a lot of time on the bike, because you're forward on the bike and you're, obviously the movement of the pedaling is constant. Your hip flexors really tighten up, so you've got to try and stretch them out as much as possible, because this will also go into the back and it can sort of make things really uncomfortable. So put your knee onto the pillow so that you're not digging into the floor. And there's a couple of options you can do. So first one, again, is one that most people know. So you want to try and keep your hips square, try not
Oh no, keep rolling.
Your trousers are really tight as well.
Really
aren't they?
tight, yeah.
So anyway, you're going to keep your hips square. Try not to let your hips twist because you won't get the same stretch. So keep your hips square. You're going to come forward and you should think about under tucking the pelvis and pushing forward so you get a stretch right down your front of your hip flexor. Or the other option is that you can put the hand on the floor, take the back leg up and then pull your foot towards your bum basically and get another stretch right the way down the thigh and through the hip flexor. And now you want to think about moving, so bringing the weight slightly forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can obviously, you need to do that on both legs. So again, same thing, keeping the hips square, coming forward and getting that stretch down the front of the leg. For most people that's enough, but if you are really quite flexible, as I say, you can bring the hand forward, take that back leg and just pull it up towards your bum. And those are 3 stretches that you can do, as I say, every day. They will be really, really good for you, really good for your training. And yeah, there you go.